这次可以改，你可以转移，
对，
方便的不得了。
我先给你打电话，再下个礼拜一打电话。
所以你这边。
Next stop, Granville Avenue and Boulevard. Next stop, Granville Avenue. Next stop, Gilbert Road. Next stop, Azure Gate. Next stop, number 2 Road. Next stop, Red Road. Next stop, Railway Avenue and Granville Avenue. Next stop, Renfield Gate. Next stop, Lansing Road. Next stop, Blondell Road. Next stop, Francis Road. Next stop, Baker Road. Next stop, Woodwards Road. Next stop, Williams Road and Gale.